5 years ago, I tore my labrum, had an identity crisis, and had no idea what to do with my time. So I bought a camera. Now at 24, I own a full-scale marketing agency that's achieved millions of views, crazy experiences, and we work with some of the biggest athletes in the world. So now we have this, the 5-minute podcast where we answer one question based off of everything we've learned so far. So 5-minute podcast is the first one we've done. Bear with us because obviously it's uncomfortable and awkward for us, but we're just going to answer questions in the beginning that we would have wanted answered as we were kind of trying to figure out what we were doing in college and where we were trying to go next. But like some background on where we're at right now, like we're early 20s. We're both, well, I'm 24, she's 25, but I just got out of college 9 months ago. I've been doing videography for 5 years. I started it when I was in college still. And then now, obviously, we have a full-scale marketing business. The question is, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give somebody who's in that transition period of going from college to working?
Not to put yourself in a box. Meaning, I had to work right out of college. I got a job right away. It's not Real Aces. It was something different. And even though I had to get a job right out of college, that was not Real Aces or not what I wanted to do in the long run. I did not keep myself in that box. So I still worked my job. I still worked the 40 hours. I did everything I had to do there. But I was passionate about doing something else. And if you have that passion and you know you have to work out of college, because sometimes it's not realistic to just jump right in and be able to not make money or figure it out. Sometimes, you got to work right out of college, and that's realistic. Don't let that discourage you or make you feel like that's your end all be all is that job. If that's not what you want to do, it might mean work late hours. It might mean doing stuff on the weekends. It might mean, in between early mornings, late nights, whatever the case is. But if you're passionate and you know that you have bigger plans for yourself, but you can't start that right away because you need to be making money or you need to be working, then it's not the end of the world. Whatever. Go ahead. Your turn.
My biggest piece of advice, I would say, like, it sounds really simple, but to have a plan. I feel like nobody really has a plan. And the reason I would be able to say that or be able to know that is because we had a professor in college in my second to last year who would, every week, he would go around the room and say, he would make you tell him your plan for the next 3 years. So at the time we had 2 years left of college and then the year after. And it was a small class, there's probably like 30 people in it, but there was only ever 3 that really had a plan. And so I think that would be my biggest piece is like, if you just have a plan, you can get so far ahead of everybody else in terms of something that you can actually stick to. And you can break it up into categories, whether it be like business or personal or financial, whatever it be. Because if you don't have a plan and you just kind of like wait it out and you're sitting in school and you're like, well, you're kind of just letting the time pass. And like, yes, you should enjoy your time 100%. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy your time and being like the no fun police. But like for myself, for example, with my business, it was, okay, I know I have 2 years left of school and then I'm going to go back to Florida. And I want to be able to afford my own place, stuff like that. So I slowly started scaling the business up. So when I graduated, I would have enough money and enough clients to where it would be my full-time job and I could move out right away because I was already out on my own, paying my own rent. But I was able to graduate, go back to Florida, and then pick up right where I left off. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, have a plan. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, not answering the question good enough, but
I would like to go back to my answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
My answer is actually kind of the opposite of yours, but it still ties into yours, is I did not have a plan out of college. I graduated with a health sciences degree. It was kind of right when COVID was ending, and the health field just was not something that I wanted to get into at that time. I kind of put that on the back burner. So I obviously did not have, and you can't do anything with health sciences degree unless you go back to school anyway. So I was kind of in a spot where I needed to work. I was done with college. I needed a plan. I didn't have anything to do. I needed to work. So I got a job. I guess when my answer was don't put yourself in a box, it's for the opposite. The people that are opposite of what you're saying is if you're coming out of college and you didn't have a plan, is you goofed off, you played a sport, you didn't build up anything, you don't know what you want to do, whatever the case is, just because you have to find a job out of college, whatever the first job you can get, don't get stuck there because you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need to be. You know, like
yeah,
you don't put yourself in that box of, oh, I have this job,
yeah,
I'm making decent money, but it's not what I want to do. I hate it, and
yeah,
this wasn't what I had envisioned in my head. Even if I didn't have a set plan, I knew I didn't want to do this.
yeah.
You know?
I guess when I say have a plan, it kind of goes into what you're saying. Like, have a plan so that when you come out, you're not bombarded with all the different stuff that you've been avoiding for years, so that you're able to like set yourself up to be a little bit freer than everybody else. So what I mean by that is, if you're thinking ahead of time and you can come out and you were working while you're in school and you're like, hey, this is what I'm going to save up for this so that when I get out of college, I'm able to pay, whether you have student loans or you just have to pay your rent or whatever it may be, um, to have a plan so that when you get out, you're able to do all those things and you don't have to take the first crappy job. Or if you do have to take a crappy job to pay your rent, you're not like swallowed up by all of the other things that are going on, and you're able to get out of it pretty quick and you can make an adjustment for there. So what I would say goes along with having a plan, because it is something that almost nobody is doing in terms of having a plan, is pretty much do the opposite in terms of the responsible things that everybody else is doing. So like, again, no fun police, but don't go out and blow all your money. Like, you're poor in college, and whether you have somebody that's helping you through it or you don't, regardless, you're still poor, because at some point, like, that's going to get cut off, unless maybe you don't, which is great too. But like, at some point that's going to get cut off.
Just be ready for college to end, honestly.
Yes.
You know?
Don't wait around. Like,
Yeah.
I think you get so comfortable in where you're at and you think, it's going to end, but it doesn't feel like it's ever going to really end. And when it ends, I know what I'm going to do. But if you don't have something like on paper, step by step, you're going to be way behind and you're not going to be able to get out of it. And then you're going to take that job and you're going to get stuck in that, I don't want to say rat race, but the loophole going over and over again. And then it's going to be a lot harder to get out. Of course you can get out. People do it all the time, but it's a lot harder when you are coming out if you are not prepared ahead of time. That's it. All right, so we just realized we forgot to do an outro because that was obviously our first one, but so that's the first one we're doing, but really that's what we're going to do, is just answer a bunch of questions that we wish we would have had the answers to when we were starting out. We're not looking to do anything too crazy with this. We're just trying to literally give any kind of help that we can to get somebody that was in a similar position as us or will be in a similar position as us, to give you guys any help. But yeah, we're just going to start doing that and keep going from there. So thanks for watching.